Oh, this is gonna be crazy. That was great. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome today to the 11th episode of SpraynPray1000's Verdict, featuring me, SpraynPray1000, as I briefly review some of the video games that I have done playthroughs for on my channel. Okay, and today we are going to be talking about, actually, not a new release, which is typically not in the spirit of SpraynPray1000's Verdict. Typically, I only review games that have recently come out, you know, as such that's just kind of what a reviewer does, I assume. But this game is still kind of new. It's about maybe, we're almost at June. We're like halfway through May. So I'd say this game is about 9 months old, which is getting kind of old, okay? It's not really that fresh. But the game is Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012, which is either... You're gonna have to excuse me. I bit my lip and it's kind of annoying me, so it's kind of a little bit painful to talk right now. Need for Speed Most Wanted actually came out back in 2004, 2005. I forget what consoles. Well, obviously probably like PlayStation, Xbox, maybe GameCube, maybe PC. And I remember people saying that was like one of the best Need for Speeds, and you know, Need for Speed hasn't really been the same since, and that's pretty much like the pinnacle of Need for Speed apparently. I can't really back that up, and even then I've only heard that from a couple of people. But here we are in what was 2012, what for me is 2013. Here we are playing, I guess, a reboot of that game, maybe, you know, because it is different. It's under the same name, but obviously the game is different in multiple ways. So in case you don't know what Need for Speed is a racing game, okay? It's a game, as the title suggests, where you drag race and, you know, conduct street races with other people. Or specifically in the single player against the AI. And the premise is pretty straightforward. In every race, try to come in first, you know, or like, let's say there's different kind of races, but pretty much go as fast as you can to either beat the time limit, elude the police, or just straight up beat everyone and come in first, like any other racing game pretty much. F-Zero, Mario Kart, Gran Turismo, Forza, Burnout. I know I'm missing a couple, but you know, it's pretty straightforward in that regard. Now, let me just really briefly touch on the story of this game, okay? The story of this game is pretty much you are some generic driver who decides one day to take on the Most Wanted, which in the city of Fairhaven, where the game is based, are an elite group of 10 drivers who have some of the best cars on the street and basically cause havoc for the police and, you know, do all these illegal races and whatnot, and they're the best at what they do. And your goal, so to say, in the game is to just basically take them down and, you know, race, you know, basically you earn enough speed points to challenge them to a race, you beat them, and then you shut down their car. And pretty much the story is very minimalistic. Besides that, there's not really too much else to do with the story besides that. And in fact, the majority of the game revolves around what I just said: accruing enough points to take on the next Need for Speed. I keep saying Need for Speed driver, the next Most Wanted driver. And then afterwards, once you beat them, shut them down, which is basically make them crash in such a way that their car basically wrecks. And you know, again, I wouldn't take off massive points for the lack of a story, but here's the thing: this game kind of basically completely used the story as a foregone opportunity to focus solely on the gameplay. And let's face it, I kind of don't want that intense of a story for a racing game. It kind of can easily become very, you know, hard to follow, very difficult, very kind of silly, at least for the games I've played so far. So, for the most part, I don't think that it's that bad that this game doesn't have a story. At least not a very intensive one. Now, because there's plenty of other things about the game that I did not like. Okay, so basically the story is very minimalistic. And you come in, they basically tell you what you need to do, and they let you go into this open world. Fairhaven is a very big open world, which is very, very neat. There's a lot of cool stuff to find. There's a lot of billboards to smash, a lot of speed cameras to zip past. It's a very good, very well done, unique world. And I'm gonna jump ahead to the graphics. I usually, again, I'm not a graphics person. I usually spend maybe about 5 seconds talking about graphics. The graphics are good in this game. They definitely put a lot of work into making this game look very aesthetically pleasing, okay? And it's actually kind of funny, the intros to all these different missions in the game, all these different races, especially the police ones, are just absolutely hilarious. They're just like psychedelic, over the top acid trips, and it's just so funny that they just have like, it's almost like a guy flying around with a camera, like putting all these visual filters on it and just like spinning and doing crazy shit, and it's just like, this is like, it makes no sense, and especially for a lot of these most wanted drivers, their intros are just absolutely over the top and crazy, and they make absolutely no sense. So I mean, obviously, I assume it could only be for a comedic effect that's also very visually pleasing and also very, graphically challenging, and they put a lot of work into it, because I can't see any other use for it. It's just absolutely hilarious that, you see all this crazy shit happening. Like, at one point, there was a fucking pyramid of cop cars coming at me, and, in the second part of the cutscene, there's a gigantic spinning tower of cop cars. All this stuff that's physically impossible is just there for hilarity, and I think it's exactly that. It's just hilarious, it's funny, and then you start racing. So that's my interpretation of it. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about, because once I get into the gameplay, that's basically it. That's kind of the whole review, because that's what the game focuses on. The soundtrack for this game is very interesting, and in fact, in some cases, very good. You have a wide variety, well, not too wide a variety, but definitely a decent amount of dubstep and pop music and rock, and I think maybe a little metal. I'm not a music connoisseur, so I can't, say for certain, oh, there's metal. But I do believe Muse has a soundtrack in there, although I think Muse are more rock than metal. Again, I'm not a music connoisseur. I don't, spend days, any time at all, really, deciphering this kind of stuff. I just can kind of, like, point my finger towards a general direction. And then they even have some dubstep. And it's not like it's over-the-top dubstep either. There's just like one or two songs, I think, that are kind of in the dubstep genre, and then that's kind of it, which I don't mind that much. And yeah. So anyway, the gameplay of the game. Since it's a racing game, the gameplay is very, very simplistic. You have your basic controls, which you can actually edit if you feel like you can, if you feel like you would do better with one or the other. For the most part, I ended up not editing the controls simply because they worked fine enough for me. It hurts a lot. And it's funny because I'm actually about to go commentate over a playthrough in like 5 minutes, but regardless, or whenever I'm done, regardless of that, it's very simplistic. You have your drift, which is your basic maneuver for going around sharp corners, so you try to retain some speed while moving. You have your nitrous, which is a need for speed staple. It's basically your speed booster. You have all this stuff, and basically the game revolves around you when you're taking, finding cars in the overworld, driving them, and performing races with them. Now, each car has its own set of races, okay? And that car can only do those 5 races. It can't do another car's 5 races. Now, some cars may share races, but you cannot, like, go in and, let's say I'm driving my Porsche whatever, for example. I can't do a race that's for my Aston Martin, okay? Unless, they happen to share the same race. But, typically races are not shared that often between cars, especially, like, they are. And, there's a lot of cars in this game. I think that, I'm not sure about the exact number. I know there are 120 some jack spots, or basically places where you can hop in and change cars. But I know a lot of cars appear in multiple jack spots, so the number of cars isn't exactly 123. And yeah, for the most part, racing in these cars, I mean, I don't know how these cars handle in real life, but, there's sports cars, there's SUVs, there's, like, mini cars, muscle cars, you know, like race cars. Like there's just a wide diversity of cars. Not maybe as much as say Gran Turismo, but you know, for obviously you wouldn't want to be racing in a fucking soccer mom van, barreling down at F-Zero like speeds. So they definitely include cars that they felt, you know, kind of fitted the title. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of would give you the need for speed. And now let me just say for one thing, if you have the need for speed, okay, I don't think you could go any wrong. You know, I don't think you can go wrong by getting this game. Okay, I think that this game, even for the flaws I'm about to really harp on in a few minutes, it's good. Okay, this game is as bottom line, not above decent, into the level of gooditude. Okay, and I just made that word up, gooditude. The other thing I liked about the game is the ease of access of doing a lot of the missions in the game. So, you know, in a lot of games, there's a very cumbersome system of, like, let's say, upgrading your car, which is something you do in this game by winning races in the, like, the first first 1 or 2 places. You can get, like, upgrades for your car. I'll touch on this later. I just wanted to, you know, because I haven't said it yet. And also, you know, setting waypoints on maps and finding this stuff, and you know, and changing cars. And usually, it's a very tiresome process in some other games where, you know, you have to travel to certain places where you can do this, or, you know, only at a certain point can you do this. In this game makes use of something called Easy Drive. Okay, and it's basically where you use the D-pads to manipulate these sort of menu items in real time. So, like, let's say I'm in a new car and I want to start a race, and I don't know where the race is, you know, obviously, because Fairhaven's huge, and there's no way for me to know this without playing the game, you know, for a long period of time. All I have to do is go into Easy Drive, press right on the D-pad, go under races, it displays the races that are available for your car. Boom, 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 I pick my race, I press right, I select set destination. And what's really cool is that once you've already played a race, if you get into another car that shares a similar race as the first car that you played that race in, all you have to do is select that race, and it'll tell you can start the race right away, which is cool. So you don't have to do all this monotonous driving again. You can just start it again once you've already driven to it. And I just think that Easy Drive, especially another thing that Easy Drive lets you do, let's say you need to change stuff for your car. You don't have to, like, go to a garage or anything to change up your car. And in fact, the garage system in this game has been very simplified. If your car is damaged, just drive through any garage. It'll instantly change your color, which will reduce your heat level in pursuits. It will instantly refill your nitrous oxide, and it will repair your car. Now, I don't remember really playing Need for Speed Underground 2. I don't remember that game at all. I played that game for so little time, which is kind of unfair. I actually bought it back. I'm going to play it eventually. But in this game, if you want to change something on your car, all you have to do is, once again, open Easy Drive, boom, 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 go down to customize your car. Ugh, so I'm sorry. It's this stupid bite mark, man. I'm really not feeling this. Go down to customize your car, boom. Let's say you want to change your tires, just go into tires. You'll see a list of all the tires you've unlocked. Boom, change them, you're done. Instantly refitted. And that can be useful to use it to your advantage. And, like, so let's say during a race you hit a spike strip that's either dropped or placed by the police. If you have reinflating tires, which is a brand of tires that does exactly what its name suggests and reinflates after a period of time, assuming that you're skilled enough to be traveling down the highway at over 150 plus, you can micromanage these little menus. You could potentially save what could be a loss, because again, if you don't have tires on your car, you're not going to go very quickly. So you could change that around very quickly by equipping these tires, and you're good. That's all I really have to say. And you can switch back again. So, like, and there's so many different kinds of tires and other stuff that really helps you out. So, and the other thing that Easy Drive lets you do is it lets you easily change cars. In fact, you can jump to any car or drive to it, your choice. Now, jumping to a car is as simple as finding it in the overworld, or in the case of the most wanted cars where you have to shut them down and make them crash to take their car, just jump to it because it's automatically given to you. It's simple. You just go in, not customize, change car, and there's a whole list of all the different brands, and then that's it. You pick whichever one you want. It says jump to car, boom, you jump to it, loading screen, you're in the car now, and welcome to, you gotta go do the races for that car. So Easy Drive definitely simplifies what could be a very annoying, very monotonous part of the game. A lot of, stuff like that. The other major thing about this game that's really cool but didn't apply to me is the fact that autolog works in conjunction with Easy Drive to basically make this one of the most socially interactable racing games I've ever seen. Okay, and that, again, that's not really saying much because I haven't played that many racing games, so I can't really compare. But I can definitely say that this game really put a lot of emphasis on racing with your friends. So yeah, there's multiplayer and stuff in the game, but here's the hitch. This game also, in the single player, everything in the single player is basically recorded. What streetlights you blaze past at what speed, how long you spend in a pursuit, how many police cars you wreck, what you do in one car. Basically anything you do in this game is recorded on some kind of leaderboard and compared against your friends. So if you have like 4 or 5 friends all playing this game on the same console, there's definitely going to be a lot of room for competition. Even in the single player, you're always going to be competing. You get bonus speed points, which are necessary to complete the game, for beating a friend's score at anything. Like, let's say you're playing in a race and a friend gets 2 minutes and you get 150. You're going to get additional speed points on top of winning the race and, doing all this other stuff. You're going to get bonus points because your friend bought the game, he did it, and you beat his record. And so everything is a competition, and that, I imagine, among a group of people who really like racing games could lead to a whole host of unknown added gameplay benefits. It's just like that could really increase the value of the game, and I can respect that even though I did not have anyone to compare myself against. Now, so definitely for the social interaction, that was really well done. Now, what else is there? Now, the upgrades for the cars. Now, basically, whenever you start out with a new car, you basically have your stock tires, your stock transmission, no nitrous boost, your stock chassis, and your stock body, which are basically, the stuff the car naturally ships with. Now, by completing races in first or second, and in case of the reinflating tires, third place, in 5 different races, you unlock different upgrades for your vehicles. So for example, typically the easy race, which is the one you would do first, gives you key stuff like off-road tires and nitrous boost, okay? And as I say, you can easily equip that from Easy Drive, hence Easy Drive. But yeah, it's that, the fact that you get rewarded for that, I think that kind of works in your favor. It gives you a reason to do a lot of these different races. Now, I didn't really use a lot of these different upgrades because I felt that for my driving style, they really wouldn't have helped. So, like, for example, initially I started out liking long gears, which increases your top speed. It's a transmission upgrade. But ultimately, I changed my opinion completely and said that short gears were more worth it because they increase your acceleration, which is basically the rate at which you gain speed. And I said to myself, wow, top speed might be cool, having a really high top speed might be cool, but if you crash, it's going to be hard to control a car at 200 miles an hour. It is. It's very hard to control something, the faster it goes, the harder it is to, I don't even think you can drift after a certain point. I think there's a sweet spot in the speed zone where you can drift, and then you can't drift anymore. It's too hard. Your car is going too fast. So, in that case, I just think that, some stuff will benefit you. It's up to you. You're going to have to experiment with this stuff, and that's what I like about this game. There's a lot of experimentation, and, at first it's kind of annoying because, you're not used to it, but once you kind of get the flow down, the game is actually really fun. Now, let's get to the annoying parts because I kind of want to wrap this up because it's almost 20 minutes long. Obviously, the key parts about any racing game, especially Need for Speed, are the racers and the police. And you knew this was coming if you watched any degree of my playthrough, but unfortunately I have to smash the game for this. Now, I don't mind the fact that, the AI is controlled by the AI, and, all these cars are driving, it's a computer. You're not playing against other humans. You're playing against the computer who's spawning stuff for you to face yourself against. Now, in a race, when you crash and when you wreck somebody, well, more specifically, when you wreck somebody and you smash them into a fucking wall and their car should literally in real life shear in half or something and be completely destroyed. I mean, obviously, I know they're going to come back. They're going to respawn. Because if that were to happen to me, I would want to respawn. I would want a second chance too. So it's not like a lot of these, what was it, F-Zero or something, where if you crash, you got to replay the mission or whatever. You do respawn in this racing game if you crash. Now, what I do have a problem with is the fact that a lot of these AI, they're driving these cars that are either worse than yours or of the same quality of yours, and then they're just gaining speed in like 5 seconds. They're already back on your tail, and it's just like, how is that even physically possible? If I wrecked him, I left him back, I'm already zipping ahead at 150 miles an hour. Up here comes 3 people out of nowhere zipping ahead at least like 190. Like, come on, man, these people are blowing past me, at a speed proportionate to the one I'm going at. And it's just like, at what point in the game, these people are zipping past me, handling these turns perfectly, not even on hard missions. Like, don't even get me started on hard missions, man. A lot of these normal missions, medium missions, even some of the easy missions, these people, are just completely always on your ass. And in fact, there's one mission where at the end, 1 or 2 missions at the end, the AI gets a massive speed boost for no real reason. So this happened to me, a couple of times where I'm leading the pack. There's like maybe obviously I can't assign feet distance because I don't know that while I'm driving. But these people are like a good half the mini map away from me. I'm on the home stretch. Here they come out of nowhere. Bam! They pass me at the last second. I go from first to second, and it's just like, okay, well now I gotta play the fucking race over again. That's kind of annoying. And I just don't think, like, again, it's kind of the AI is cheating. The AI is not being fair. And that, to me, again, in a racing game, if the AI is pulling stuff like that off, that's like, that's kind of ludicrous. That's not fair at all. And then there's times when the AI, is going to be suicidal against you. It's going to, some cars intentionally try to crash you, more specifically police cars. They're basically fucking suicidal. They're not trying to stop you. They're trying to fucking wreck your ass and make you flip, and then you won't be able to recover in any time. And it's just like, it's not like, police, they're trying to, make you pull over. These guys are fucking murderous. And I remember one race where the police officer, he literally came out of nowhere at full speed, ignoring all the teammates, which is something that they typically do a lot. They tend to ignore the AI, which is kind of BS in my opinion. That doesn't mean that they always ignore the AI. That doesn't mean that, they only focus on you solely, but it happens that more often than not, 2 or 3 police officers are all going to be coming after you while, first place is zipping ahead, with no problems. And that, to me, again, the police tend to bully you. It's kind of hard to have high-speed chases at 200 miles an hour or 150 plus and, be dealing with 3 or 5 different police officers while the AI is, just zipping past you, zipping up to you. And they're not using nitrous. They're not using anything. They're just driving, and they're doing at least 40 miles an hour more than I am, which, in my opinion, is BS. Now, that problem kind of applies to both the police and the normal drivers, the street racers. And by the way, a lot of times the street racers, they do not crash into any civilian cars. Because again, I assume that this is the AI speaking, or the AI dictating this. That, okay, well, here's a car coming. Well, you got to do X, Y, and Z. And, or let's say it's a blind turn, or let's say, I'm drifting. There's no way I'm getting out the way of that. This isn't like Mario Kart where I have a speed boost that I can use to push myself forward. I'm just going to crash into that because there's no way for me to know that until I hit it. And that's not cool. I think that that's definitely not the right way to go about that in a racing game. So, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but these problems, again, because the game is probably so simple, these problems that they're having are just so massive because, the game is so simple and these are such core elements that are, flawed in this way. Now, it doesn't mean that the game is, unbeatable or not fun to play or whatever. It's just that, when you're playing a race, you're barreling down full speed and you're in first, and then all of a sudden you see 3 other people, like, come close to passing you and shit. It's just like, that's a spirit crusher, man. Like, what are you supposed to do? You can't hold R2 or RT any harder, In fact, I started getting hook finger from playing this game too long. I started, it started to hurt my finger for holding R2 for so long. Well, that was probably because I played, like, 3 or 4 hours in one day, which... that kind of thing. But ultimately, I'm going to wrap this up. What do I think about Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012? I think it's a good racing game. There's flaws about it, and, it's rather simple. But for the most part, this game is actually pretty good. It's pretty interesting. But then again, you know, it's kind of a grind after a certain point. You know, once you've played these races, you know, they kind of only have 4 different races. There's sprint races, which is there's no laps. You're playing against the AI, maybe some police, and you have to literally get to the end first. Then there's circuit races, which are, you know, your stipical. I just merged the words standard and typical into stipical. Your stipical racing, where you have your laps. You know, you're basically doing a circuit. You're doing laps, okay? Also, there's no reset to track button that I'm aware of. There might be. Don't quote me on that. I won't take points off because of that. Ugh. But I wasn't aware if there was one. What else is there? No, I lost my train of thought. There's ambush missions where basically you bully the police. It's kind of funny. You bully the police, and then you have to lose the cops as quickly as you can, which brings me to my final point. A lot of times they do the GTA 4 thing where they spawn cops in your way on a 2-way street, so there's no way that you can possibly escape the bubble in time, which is bullshit. But again, you know, I'm not going to take any more points off the game when I've already taken off a sizable amount. And then there's one other kind of race. Oh yeah, time trial or speed run, which is basically you have to maintain an average speed in order to pass the mission. So like gold might be you have to maintain an average of 130 miles per hour. Silver might be 120. Bronze might be 110. Blah blah blah. You kind of get the point. So ultimately, what do I think about it? It can be a grind. It's a fun grind. It's an interesting grind. And, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff they did. There's a lot of work they put in this game. But what would I give Need for Speed ultimately? I would give Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 a 81 out of 100. There's definitely a lot of stuff that they did right, but there's also a lot of room for improvement. There's a lot of, you know, especially with key gameplay elements, you know, there's a lot of stuff that they could have done differently, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, this game was very enjoyable to play, especially after the whole debacle I had where I was scared that this game, I'd have to cancel the playthrough because, you know, the footage was wrecked, and it was, you know, a mess to kind of fix that up. So, yeah, good stuff. Hopefully Criterion comes out with something awesome again, you know, maybe in a year or two or whatever, and we'll see you then. So thanks for listening. I'm SpraynPray1000, and hopefully you enjoy. Actually, I'm going to include a whole bunch of clips from the Need for Speed Most Wanted playthrough, because there were just so many funny things happening in that game. There were just so many crashes, so many you'll just have to see for yourself. If you're a fan of my Verdict series, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So just stick around after this, and I'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching. Fuck! Wow! I made the turn too early. Oh, someone respawned and wiped. Other than that, you know, I like this game. The graphics are sweet. Soundtrack is good. Like, you know, it's pretty solid. What the fuck? Someone just committed suicide. Oh! Oh! Monster flip. Oh, I might as well fix up my car. What better place to crash than right outside a garage? The hell, the nitrous comes out the side of this car. There you go. I don't think I've ever been up here. Only me. Only me. What? 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 Who? Look at this. Look at this stupidity. Look at it. Oh my god. I'm just sitting there with no car. I'm the mime driving the invisible car. Alright. Hello. Hello, copper. I gotta chase him across the park. I'm done. Goodbye. Oh my god. That had to be one of the better crashes this game, man. That was an insane crash. Oh my god. Forget it. There it goes. Oh, what? Everybody wrecked at the end. Wow. Who threw the blue shell right there, man? Oh my god, that was funny. Bang! Whoa! Whoa! Yo, I hit him so hard. You saw that, right? Look, he's still driving. I hit that guy so hard, he started doing somersaults in the air. That's how hard he just got hit. Wow. Okay, and then at the end, guess what? We have a nice big glitch. Isn't that just great? Yes. A nice big... Look at that. They just had to leave it with one freaking big bang, man. That's funny as hell. I don't know about you guys. I find that incredibly funny. That is just divinely hilarious at the end. But, well, that's it for this playthrough. Rest in peace is really all I can say to it. That was just too glitchy for me to handle, man. Goodbye. I don't notice anything happening on the road. Yeah, look, I'm barely even doing anything. They're chasing after me. What's this glitch? What's this? Oh my god, there's visual bugs up the ass in this game. Look at this. Thank you. No, it's still the... What's going on, man? Look. What? What's happening? Oh my god, are you seeing this? That was crazy. That was actually like fucking insane, dude. The game was bugging out beyond all reason. Yo, I don't know what to say to that, dude. The game was crazy right there. Oh my... You can't be serious. Like, you actually cannot. Look, here it comes again. Looks like curtains. Are you serious? Wow, this version of the game is bugged. That's a pretty serious problem, dude. Like, that's actually legitimately something look, I'd be scared. No, I'm not even doing this. I hope this is just like a one-time bug. Retry that event, man. What's going on? Yo, the game was fine at first, and now it's just like, what am I even playing? Visual bugs. Look, I think this mission might be bugged as a whole. Yeah, I think this mission is completely bugged as a whole. Look. Dude, what is it with this game? Yo, I'm not the only one seeing this. This is on the video feed. Look at this. This is horrible. Wow, I can't see. Look, how the fuck am I supposed to drive if the only thing I see are a bunch of visual glitches? This is stupid. Yo, this is stupid. No, honestly, this is really stupid. Did you not just see what I just saw? I see a bunch of visual video glitches. Serious problems with this game. Yeah, and they want to start charging $100 for video games, right? Uh-huh. Of course.